The imposing Central City Sessions Court was abuzz with activity. Cameras flashed, microphones were thrust out, and journalists scribbled furiously. It wasn't your average courtroom drama. This was the high-profile murder trial of the year. The case revolved around the untimely demise of Amit Verma, a prominent young entrepreneur who'd built his company from the ground up. His death sent shockwaves through the city's business community. At the center of the storm was his former business partner, Rohan Malhotra, who now sat in the dock as the accused murderer. The circumstances surrounding Amit's death were murky, and the evidence against Rohan was compelling. But as the trial unfolded, cracks began to show in the seemingly airtight case. Vital pieces of evidence vanished, turning the courtroom drama into a battle of wits between the prosecution and the defense. Fast Feed News was reporting live from the courtroom, and viewers were glued to their screens. Among them were those who had personal stakes in the case, each convinced of Rohan's innocence or guilt. The story had captivated the city. Even ordinary citizens were discussing the perplexing case, adding their theories to the mix. As the trial progressed, it became clear that Rohan's fate hung in the balance. All eyes were on the prosecution to present a solid case. In the heart of the legal drama sat the fiery advocate Rajiv Sinha, the man tasked with proving Rohan's guilt. His reputation as a relentless legal eagle preceded him. Those who knew him spoke of his aggressive cross-examinations and his knack for finding the weak links in the defense's arguments. Known for his dramatic flair, Rajiv was determined to deliver a verdict that would satisfy not just the legal system, but also the public's thirst for justice. Opposite him, seated calmly, was the equally formidable advocate Meera Sharma, Rohan's defense attorney. Meera was a force to be reckoned with. Her approach to law was a mixture of strategic brilliance and quiet confidence. With a string of successful cases behind her, Meera had built a name for herself as a master strategist, always able to dismantle the most complex of cases and present them in a light that favored her client. She was confident about Rohan's innocence and vowed to prove it. As the trial commenced, the court was presented with a timeline of events that led to Amit's untimely demise. The prosecution's theory was straightforward. They alleged that Amit and Rohan, once close friends and business associates, had entered into a partnership that took a sour turn when profits began to dwindle. Tempers flared, trust eroded, and what started as a business rivalry ended in tragedy. The prosecution argued that on the fateful evening, during a heated argument over financial matters, Rohan lost control and fatally stabbed Amit. They claimed that afterwards, driven by panic, Rohan cleaned up the mess, disposing of the weapon and attempting to stage the scene to mislead the authorities. Their star witness was Mr. Singh, Amit's loyal employee, who testified that he heard a commotion coming from Amit's office, followed by an eerie silence. He described seeing Rohan leaving Amit's office with a bloodied knife. The prosecution painted a chilling picture of a calculated murder, emphasizing that the motive, opportunity, and means all aligned with Rohan. It seemed like a convincing narrative. But amidst this web of accusations, there was one glaring issue. Despite presenting a seemingly watertight case, the prosecution couldn't produce substantial evidence directly linking Rohan to the crime scene. This lack of tangible proof created a window of doubt in the minds of the jury, a doubt that the defense was eager to widen. As the trial reached its midpoint, advocate Meera Sharma rose to defend her client. Meera was acutely aware of the uphill battle she faced. The public perception was overwhelmingly negative, and the prosecution had left a lasting impact on the jury. Yet she was resolute. Her defense strategy was centered around pointing out loopholes in the prosecution's narrative and emphasizing the absence of concrete evidence. She argued that the testimonies of witnesses were either based on speculation or hearsay, and that the physical evidence was either inconclusive or open to interpretation. Meera's sharp legal mind dissected every aspect of the case, raising doubts about the reliability of the evidence. She challenged Mr. Singh's testimony, highlighting his inability to provide a clear account of the incident. She pointed out that the supposed murder weapon was found in Rohan's apartment without any proper documentation, leaving the possibility of contamination or tampering. Meanwhile, outside the courtroom, the media frenzy reached new heights. Headlines screamed of betrayal, greed, and hidden motives, fueling public outrage and speculation. In this climate of intense scrutiny and public debate, Meera and Rajiv stood firm in their positions, each determined to convince the jury of their client's innocence or guilt. In the midst of this legal duel, the missing evidence became a central point of contention. Without crucial physical evidence to directly link Rohan to the crime, the prosecution's case seemed to be crumbling. As the trial reached its climax, the judge presiding over the case made an unprecedented move. Sensing the need for a decisive breakthrough, the judge brought in a renowned forensic expert to re-examine the evidence. Kabir Rathore was a man who seemed born for this moment. An experienced and meticulous investigator, Kabir possessed a unique blend of intuition and analytical skills. As he stepped into the case, he quickly identified areas where the previous investigations fell short. Starting with the missing evidence, he worked tirelessly to fill these gaps, piecing together fragments of information that others had overlooked. As Kabir delved deeper into the case, he noticed discrepancies in the accounts of key witnesses. Their timelines didn't add up, and their testimonies seemed to shift with each retelling. He meticulously cross-referenced their statements, searching for inconsistencies that could reveal the truth. At the same time, he revisited the crime scene, conducting a second sweep to see if anything was missed the first time around. He examined the forensic reports, looking for clues that could connect the dots. In the midst of this investigation, a minor detail caught his attention. A witness had mentioned seeing a car near Amit's office around the time of the murder. This seemingly insignificant piece of information became the linchpin of the investigation. Upon checking the security footage, he found a car that matched the description given by the witness. What followed was a series of discreet inquiries. The investigators traced the car's ownership to a person who had no connection to either Amit or Rohan. This unexpected lead hinted at a conspiracy, suggesting that someone else had been involved in Amit's death. As the investigation deepened, more secrets surfaced. Whispers of a secret third party began to circulate, casting doubt on the prosecution's theory. The narrative was shifting, leaving everyone to wonder who else had a motive for wanting Amit dead. With each passing day, Kabir closed in on the truth. He gathered his findings and prepared to present them in court. The atmosphere was charged with anticipation as Kabir entered the courtroom. All eyes were on him as he began his testimony. He methodically laid out his findings, starting with the inconsistencies in the witness statements. He then presented the newly discovered evidence of the third party's involvement, leaving the jury stunned. It became clear that the prosecution's theory was unraveling. The picture that emerged was one of deceit and hidden motives, far from the straightforward narrative presented earlier. As Kabir wrapped up his testimony, a sense of unease settled over the courtroom. The case was far from over. The pieces were falling into place, but the full picture remained obscured. And so the search for the truth continued, promising a resolution that would redefine justice and send ripples throughout the city. After weeks of nail-biting hearings, the moment of reckoning arrived. The jury delivered their verdict. The accused was found not guilty. Relief washed over Rohan as tears streamed down his face. Meera embraced him, whispering, "Justice always finds its way." In the annals of legal history, this case became a turning point, showcasing the power of determination and the complexities of truth. Dear viewer, as the credits roll on this gripping tale, we invite you to become an integral part of our journey. Your support means the world to us. If you found this story compelling, please don't hesitate to show your support. Each like, comment, and share fuels our passion and drives us to deliver more captivating content.